In an Australian first, a priest in New South Wales has been charged with concealing the alleged child sex crimes of another member of the clergy. 74-year-old Tom Brennan, the former principal of St Pius X School in Newcastle, has been charged with 14 offences, which include 8 counts of sexually assaulting a young boy and failing to report a serious crime. A senior legal expert has told Lateline that this could set a precedent for the rest of the country. Suzanne Smith reports.
Here is the school at the centre of these charges against the former principal Tom Brennan. Stephen Kilkerry was a student at St Pius from 1975 to 1979. He told Lateline the atmosphere at the school was one of brutality and abuse.
Oh, it was rampant, basically. Very sort of full-on pedophile-type behaviours.
The charges against the former principal Tom Brennan relate to alleged child sex offences by another former priest, John Denham, against 2 boys in the late 1970s. Some of the charges relate to Father Brennan allegedly assaulting 2 boys with a cane after they disclosed to him that they had been sexually assaulted by Father Denham. President of the Australian Lawyers Alliance, Dr Andrew Morrison SC, says the decision to lay these charges is very significant.
To my knowledge, it's the first time that there has been a prosecution in Australia either under the old common law provision of misprision of felony or under its, in New South Wales, more modern equivalent, Section 316 of the Crimes Act. And that's a very significant step forward.
Dr Morrison says while the police in Newcastle have shown leadership, there also needs to be a statewide judicial inquiry into church abuse.
What we really need is a proper statewide inquiry with Royal Commission type powers to compel witnesses. And what really troubles me is when comments are made that, well, we'll wait on the Victorian inquiry. Well, the Victorian inquiry is confined to Victoria. There are, to our knowledge, hundreds of victims in New South Wales. It is just not good enough to wash our hands of a very serious matter. We know of at least 3 suicides amongst those victims. We know that in the Newcastle Maitland area alone, there has been something like 100 victims compensated by the church.
Dr Morrison says a judicial inquiry could settle the issue of whether the Catholic Church is a legal entity and therefore has to accept liability for the cases of abuse.
In Cardinal Pell's archdiocese, he does not accept any legal liability and does not even accept that the church exists in an entity capable of being sued. Now, those are unacceptable matters. They need inquiry.
There will be a meeting of government MPs from the Newcastle-Hunter region next week to discuss the issue of an inquiry with powers of a royal commission.
I'd ask every MP to put politics to one side, look to the children, look to the history of this matter, and force this government, force the Premier to put in place a Royal Commission so for once and for all we can get some finality to it and justice can be served to those long-standing victims.
The Catholic Bishop of Newcastle Maitland, Father Bill Wright, released this statement to the ABC.
I ask you to pray for all those harmed by the trauma of child abuse, for Father Brennan, that he may find the grace to repent if he is rightly accused, or to endure the burden of being wrongly accused, and for the families and friends of all those involved.
Father Brennan will appear in court later next month. Suzanne Smith, Lateline.
And late tonight, Cardinal George Pell, the Catholic Archbishop of Sydney, sent a statement to the ABC. He expressed his sympathy for the victims of sexual abuse, along with his confidence in Bishop Wright's leadership of the diocese. He says the allegations against Father Brennan fall outside any past or present church protocols and what he describes as the law of the land.